Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to connect your EQ mount or your Synscan mount to your PC. Now there's a couple of ways of doing this, and we're going to talk about the two ways that I use, and we'll go from there. There are plenty of videos on YouTube about this subject, but most of them take it for granted that nothing is going to go wrong, that you can simply download this stuff, install it, and bingo, it works. Sadly, that's not my experience. It's very rarely my experience. Can I just grab something, download it, and it works? It's usually always something wrong with it. So in this instance, we're going to have a look at how to connect through the ASCOM drivers with Eqmod, and we're also going to have a look at how to connect to it with the Skywatcher telescope driver, and there's a reason for that which I'll give shortly. We'll also work out how to connect Phd and Stellarium so that we can use both of those as well to guide and to navigate. Now the first thing you're going to need are the ASCOM platform. So I'll just give you a quick run through on what you're going to need. I'm not going to show you how to install it or everything, you can work that out yourself. So firstly you need this one. You want the to download over here on the ASCOM platform 6.4, so download that one and install it. The next thing you're going to need is Eqmod. Okay, now this one, you go over here, downloads, there it is, I'm getting lost. So this is a little bit confusing when you first download this, so I'll just walk you through this one. Go to SourceForge. You want this driver here, EQ ASCOM, click on that, and you want this one here, okay, or the latest version. Whenever you're watching this, the latest version will be on here. Okay, so download that one and install it. Simple as that. So that's ASCOM and EQ. So now we want to go back to ASCOM. We want to go to downloads and telescope and mount down here on this side. Now this is all the drivers for the various mounts that will run under the ASCOM system. We want the Skywatcher because we have a Synscan, so Skywatcher Synscan mount controller. Download that guy there, okay, and install that. Rightio, so that's ASCOM and Eqmod. Then you're going to need something like Stellarium, which is a planetary. It's a planetarium, so you can navigate around the stars with your PC and plate solve and all that sort of stuff. So you can find out where the hell you are. So you'll need that one, or Carts to Seal is another pretty good one. It's a bit harder to look at, but it's actually quite good once you get used to it. Okay. Now, hardware that you're going to need. You're going to need a USB converter. Okay, so I had it's a serial port adapter on one end and the USB on the other. So you'll need that because the serial cable, as a general rule, this one that you get with the mount has got a serial port on the end, and unless you're running a computer from 1985, you're not going to have one. So you're going to have to get a USB converter, which is one of these bastards. Okay, so just to add to the cost, you know, like you spending $1,000 or $2,000 a mount, you think they give you the latest cable, but no, they don't even give you a goddamn power supply, so you don't see how shit that is. But anyway, you're going to need those, and you should have an ST4 cable. We'll talk about that. If you've got a guide camera, the guide camera itself should have come with an ST4 cable, and we'll talk about that later on. So that's the basics of what you're going to need. Okay, and now we'll go to how the hell to connect it all up. Okay, so to connect the hardware up, presuming you've already got all that stuff downloaded and installed, this is a picture I got off the internet. It's not my laptop, so kudos to the guy that took this photo, but it's not mine. This is how it needs to be set up. So you have your USB adapter, okay, going into your serial port cable. Serial port cable goes into the bottom of the handset next to the outlet line that goes to the actual mount control box. Okay, now if you've got a newer handset, you'll just have the USB printer cable that plugs straight into the side of the handset, but it's the same way. That's how it's got to go. Okay, so sweet. So we've got it connected like that. Now for the software, there's two ways we can do this, through Eqmod or through Skywatcher telescope mod. Now Eqmod requires, well for me, I can't get it to work any other way, so requires me to have the handset in PC direct mode. So go to your handset, go to utilities, scroll down about 6 lines and you'll find PC direct mode. Now just hit enter and it'll go into PC direct mode, and it will say press escape to exit. Okay, so now we're in PC direct mode. So what we want to do is we're going to use Eqmod first. So we want to go over and we want to find Eqmod. It'll come up with the toolbox. Now you want to right click this and run as administrator. Okay, everything has to be run as an administrator, including Stellarium, PhD and Astrophotography tool. Click register, success. Okay, now if that come up with an error, it's because you hadn't run it as a administrator. The reason being, the ASCOM driver Eqmod can only run one instance, and if other programs, if you try and run Astrophotography tool or Stellarium or anything that doesn't have administrative rights, they will try and start up their own instance of Eqmod, which of course fails and conflicts. So that's why we have to run everything with administrative rights. Okay, so what we want to do now is go to driver setup and click that, and it'll bring up this EQ ASCOM setup. Now the only thing we want to worry about is here, the baud rate is at 9600 and your COM port. Okay, so to find out what COM port you need, you go to device manager and you can open, I'll show you how to do that, device manager there. Now if you scroll down you'll see ports, COM and LPT. So USB serial port's the one you're looking for. Mine's COM4. Okay, yours probably will be COM4. It could be 5, it could be 3, but it's usually 4. So that's all we need to know. So we select that from this drop down, COM4, 9600 baud rate. Hit OK. Don't worry about anything else at the moment. You can set your longitude and latitude so that that doesn't conflict, but yeah, that's self-evident. So once you've done that, hit OK, and then hit ASCOM Connect. And there we have it. Our mount is connected to the computer through Eqmod, and let's park that, and that's good to go. Okay, so we'll talk more about Eqmod later on, but that's actually how you connect to it. Okay, so that's connected. Now we want to connect Stellarium. So we shall go to search for Stellarium on my computer. There it is there. Remember, run as administrator. Okay. Yes. Okay, so when you have Stellarium open, you need to go over to the configuration window over on the left hand side here. Select that guy. Now it'll look like this. So you want to cruise along to the top here, right over to plugins. Scroll down this list here to telescope control and make sure that that load at startup is checked. And we also want remote control and make sure load at startup is checked. You'll then have to close Stellarium down and reopen it so that you can hit this configure button. So do that and then hit configure. Now up here you just need to make sure these two are enabled. Okay, so you want to click server enabled and enable automatically on startup. Now the port number's okay, everything else is fine. Then hit save settings as default. rightio, close that. Okay, so now we just need to shut Stellarium down and restart it, and when you do, you will have telescope. Click on that one, and we want configure telescopes. Okay, so here we are. We want to go to add. Now we want the ASCOM platform, so we select ASCOM there, call the telescope whatever you want, leave this crap alone, go down to choose ASCOM telescope. Okay, so now we want the Eqmod, okay, for the EQ5, which is what I've got, and hit OK. And hit OK again. Rightio, so there's the new telescope we just added. Now we hit connect, and the telescope will be here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so there's my telescope there. If I want to go to Hadar, let's click on that, center current object, and hang on, it's giving me an error there because I've got the thing parked. Yep. So just got to, with Eqmod, you've just got to unpark your scope. Okay, so make sure it's unparked, and you want to make sure it's tracking as well. Actually, go over, and now Hadar slew scope, and there we go. So now we're connected up to Stellarium, so you can use that to navigate the night sky. There we go, so we'll just close that out of the way. Get rid of that one for a memento. Rightio, so now we want to go to APT, so Astrophotography tool. Remember, run as administrator. You can set this in the properties for them. You can Google on how to do that if you don't know how. So it's got to be run as an administrator so that it will run under the same instance, okay, that we have going already. So we can actually oh well, that's Stellarium's holding that open, so disconnecting it won't matter anyway, so go there. Just move this out of the way. Now when you first open up Astrophotography tool, you've got to go over here to gear, okay, hold shift and click connect scope. This will bring up the telescope chooser. We want the ASCOM EQ5, and okay.
Telescope connected.
And our telescope is now connected. Simple as that. You can drive it around. This is obviously for your plate solving and what have you. Okay, so that's Eqmod connected to Astrophotography tool and Stellarium. And for PhD, it's exactly the same. So we'll just move this crap out of the way. So we want PhD, remember, run as administrator. So yes, run as administrator. It'll use the same instance now and you won't get those freaking errors. Time to install a new version, but not right now. So you go down to connect. Now for the first time you use it, you want to go to manage profiles and go new using wizard. Rightio, run through that. And it will come up with this screen once you've done. So this is your camera, you've got a ZWO, your mount, so you want to select that one and you want to go to Eqmod ASCOM, okay, HEQ5, got that. Now just with the camera, always make sure that it's on 16-bit. Now if you hit the mount setup here, it just brings up the same driver window that we already had a look at. It's board 9600 and COM4, so we hit OK on that. Okay, and so now you could connect. Right, yeah, so now we're connected to PhD as well, so obviously you'd have your camera running and you could now use this to guide. So your mount is now connected to PhD, Astrophotography tool and Stellarium. Right, yeah. And it seems to work okay in this mode through PC Direct. The drivers certainly behave differently, but it seems to work okay. So that's one way of setting it all up, rightio. So now we're going to go to the other way, which is to not use PC direct mode and to use the Skywatcher telescope driver instead. So I'll set that up and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the second way you can connect your mount to your PC. Rightio, so we're going to connect Stellarium to the mount with the exact same wiring setup, but the handset is now not in PC direct mode. So make sure you're not in PC direct mode and open up Stellarium, go down to the telescope again, configure telescopes, add one, and now we want to still use the ASCOM platform, so select that, but this time with choose the driver, we want the Skywatcher telescope, okay, and hit, whoops, we want to go to properties first. It takes a little bit of time to pop this properties window for some reason, but we shall wait, and we just want to make sure that the COM port's right. So here we go, it's popped it up. So you got the COM port here, make sure that that's on your COM port that the mount is connected to, and it should be anyway. This should find it and come up with COM4. Put your longitude and latitude in there, it's all pretty self-explanatory. Hit OK, hit OK again. Don't need to change anything else, hit OK and connect. Rightio, now obviously we're not using Eqmod, so this time it has brought up the very flash indeed controller for the Skywatcher. It looks like a Coles brand, no home brand controller, this bastard. So anyway, that's what we've got. So that's your handset as such. So now we're connected through here we go, here's the telescope over here. Right, so now we're connected through Stellarium to the mount without being in PC direct mode. It's the same story. Select a star, current object, and slew, and bingo, working, awesome. That's what we like. Rightio, so, and it's the same process now as what we just did. So we'll just go to APT. Now remember, you've got to run it as an administrator. Yes. And we'll just load this up. And so now we go back over to gear. Shift when we hit connect scope, because we're going to change the driver. And in here we select Skywatcher telescope. And hit OK.
Telescope connected.
Right. That's Astrophotography tool connected as well. So, and PhD, I'm not going to do it again. It's exactly the same. You go through the setup new wizard, and in the driver, instead of selecting Eqmod, you select the Skywatcher telescope. So now everything's connected and working through the wiring, but not in PC direct mode. So the biggest difference is you really have to make sure that you have your administrative rights selected. Because like I said, otherwise it'll just try and open a different instance of same ASCOM driver and you'll get a conflict. So that's pretty much it, I think. Took quite a while to work all that out because it's just every time you watch a YouTube video they're talking about a different way to do it, or they don't explain actually how to connect everything. So hopefully that'll help you out. It certainly got me going. I can use both of these methods, and like I said, I actually like the Skywatcher driver better than Eqmod. It seems to drive the telescope better, but the thing is, Eqmod is better to use because it has its own, it saves all the points for your plate solving and all that sort of thing as well. So there's, there's reasons to use it both ways as such. So yeah, so that's how you do that, and I hope this helped. Thanks for watching.